morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are, whenever you're watching this. This is Floating in Dreams. Today's video is going to be an overview of the new products that Essence has launched for Fall/Winter 2022. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. Today's video is going to be the new Essence launches. I already spotted these on Cosmetic for Less and I snatched them up straight away so I could film this video for you. Now, all I've done with these products so far is that I've done a bit of swatching with them, but I haven't put anything onto my face yet. There's not a full face here, unfortunately, so I will be selecting a couple of products from my Shop My Stash to supplement the full face makeup look I can then do. And the Essence launch, like most years, it's just not that much. But I think there are a couple of things here that are interesting, and I don't necessarily mean that in a good way. So let me just talk to you about these products, and then we can get started. In case you're new here, hi, my name is Maaike. I live in the Netherlands. I like to come on here and chat about eyeshadow palettes, Essence and Catrice reviews, and getting the use out of my makeup. And because I have fair skin with a cool to neutral undertone, I deem myself a snow angel. So if you would like to join the Snow Angel Club, then definitely click subscribe down below. Before we get started with the video, there is something I need to address. Yes, my background looks a little bit different perhaps to some people, but I've switched around where my desk sits in this room, so you're now facing the other way, so that we don't have that door that's like this black hole of death that was also always in my background. That was like a pet peeve of mine, and I got a blind so I can now block out the window. And that makes it a bit easier to film in here as well, because we're heading into winter, and then this room gets a lot of direct sunlight, which isn't perfect for filming because it kind of skews the shades and the way they look. But this way I can use it as a second bedroom that this is actually intended to be, and I can use it better for a filming space. And what you should know about this particular video is that I'm going to be leaving timestamps in the description box down below. So YouTube should cut this video into sections so that if you just want to see some things but not all of the video, then that's possible. I already mentioned that there were a couple of things here that have me go a bit like, ooh, I'm not sure how much I like these. Because there are definitely a couple of what I would like to call gimmicky products. We've got some new lip products, we've got a new highlighter, we've got some interesting blush and lip products as well. We've got some primers and like skincare bits that I've picked up, some new eyeshadow and some new brow products. And I'll just be using some products from my Shop My Stash to supplement the rest of the look so that we have a full face of makeup towards the end of the video. So the first thing I need to show you is this. This is the Algae Lip Oil. And it looks green and blue in the tube. And when I swatched it on the back of my hand, there was a blue cast. Now, since it's a lip oil, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pop this on my lips at the start of the video to see if it also hydrates like I would expect a lip oil to do. And then towards the end of the video, we can use the other lip products that Essence has to offer. But yeah, also on the doe foot, it's blue. I'm not sure you can see that I can't really see it in the viewfinder, but in real life, there's definitely now a blue cast on my lips. So I'm not entirely sure I'm a huge fan of that. But yeah, maybe I hope this is hydrating enough like a lip balm would be. That's my expectation. But Essence always does a couple of new skincare items. There wasn't much that really sounded like something my skin would like, but they did come out with another Hello Good Stuff serum, and I've tried a couple of those and they tend to be okay. This is the skin clearing one with AHA and kiwi fruit. It's 97% natural ingredients. I'm not sure what this is supposed to do. It's like an exfoliator for cleaner looking skin, and I'm not too like well versed in like chemical exfoliants because I have quite sensitive skin, so I can't use a whole lot. But this sounded interesting enough and something that I might be interested in. I do have a few breakouts. I'm not sure if you can see him right there. I usually don't get any breakouts, but the past 6 months, I've been on some meds that actually cause it, so I know why I get it. But it still looks green in the tube as well. It's very runny. And we'll just apply this and let it settle, and then we get to priming. So this actually feels quite pleasant on the skin when it first goes on. It has a fruity scent. So again, if you don't love your scents, then maybe this is just not for you. But yeah, this does have a very, I don't mind it too much. It disappears really quickly. And of course, I don't know what this is going to do for me in the long run. It feels very hydrating though. So I'm not sure whether this is going to do anything of the exfoliation that this claims to be. I would definitely have to use up the entire bottle to be able to know that sort of thing. But with Essence and also Catrice skincare, I have found that they are perhaps more aimed at, you know, younger skin. I'm in my late 30s. I don't think the Essence line necessarily offers skincare products that are for me. If you're in your teens and maybe your early 20s and you're looking for like your first skincare, I think they have a couple of things that are pretty nice that you might want to try out. But I don't think they are the most effective skincare products on the market in any case. It does leave a little bit of a tacky base, but it means that we can now go in with the Hydra Hero primer. This is the hydrating primer with hyaluronic acid and cucumber extract. And this is new, but I'm not sure if you saw my previous like Essence update video that I did in the springtime, but there they also released a Hydra Hero product, which was a base product. And that I didn't like all that much. It just didn't really sit very nicely on the skin, so I'm hoping this is not gonna mess with anything else. It looks white. So it nicely blends into the skin for sure. It feels very hydrating, but it's more like a lotiony hydrating kind of product. So I don't feel that this is like that jelly texture that some Essence and Catrice primers sometimes tend to have. This is very much that borderline between skincare and makeup, I feel, because it feels a lot like a moisturizer. I actually feel the other one is tackier, so maybe this can also be used as a primer. I very often feel that with Essence and Catrice, it's like sometimes they call something a serum primer. This is just called a serum though, the kiwi fruit one, and this is actually called a primer. But now that I've put them on, I kind of feel they perhaps should have gone the other way around. But I had already done my skincare routine anyways before I sat down to film. But yeah, so those are two new products. I need to try them out more. These seem promising. This primer doesn't really have anything that's like a very noticeable scent. I'm not sure if it contains fragrance. It does contain fragrance, I now see. But it's like a cleany kind of scent, like freshly washed linen. It's not this like fruity scent that the other one has. And then I'm very happy to report that Essence has come out with a new eyeshadow primer. And my Milani eyeshadow primer is sort of getting a little low. And I do have a couple of the Lorac eyeshadow primers left, but to have one from Essence, I can't wait to try this a bit more. It's clear from what I could see in the packaging. Just comes in a squeezy tube. It says it should intensify, should prevent creasing and make your eyeshadow last longer. I do feel that it's quite thick. So to me, when I swatched it on the back of my hand, this felt more like glitter glue consistency than it did eyeshadow primer consistency. So it's a little tacky perhaps for my taste, but I hope this goes well. So I'm just gonna do my double prime thing that I always do. So first I put on the clear primer at the start of my makeup routine, and then right before I do my eyeshadow, I use another primer, which I set with eyeshadow to, you know, block out any discoloration I might have, etc., etc. And I feel that that always makes my eyeshadow just last all day long. So now, I don't have foundation, concealer, or powder, so I'm just going to do that off camera and then I'll be right back. Foundation, concealer, powder, as well as a bit of bronzer is all done, because I do have the next couple of products that I would use in my makeup routine. Let's start with brows. We have a new brow pencil. This is the Wow Water Brow Pen, which is waterproof, and it's in the shade light brown, and it's one of those like teardrop shaped ones. It's The shape seems fine, but the shade is what I'm a bit worried about, because light brown, there we have it. It's usually not my shade. I usually need something that's taupe rather than brown. It does seem to have a cool undertone though, so that might be promising. It feels a bit waxy too, so it's a good thing we get a spoolie, because something tells me that this is just going to like catch onto my brow hairs and that's it. So the brows are on, and I think it's just a touch too dark for me. I think the undertone is okay, but the shade, this is just a little bit more brow than I would normally go for. Like, I like something that's perhaps a little bit more natural. Granted, it is a little bit more difficult with these kind of pencils to create a more natural look, especially if they are too dark, because these are mainly used to, you know, fill in your brows, but not to create like little strokes of hairs. That's not what this product is trying to do. So in terms of how it works, I think it's okay. It was easy. I could slap it on in like under 30 seconds, which I like. I'm not too fussed with my brows to begin with. I'm not sure I will be able to get the use out of this though, to really be able to use it up. The packaging also feels very, very cheap. Like, I'd rather buy something from Catrice, which is probably going to be just €1 more expensive than this, and just get a slightly better product. And Catrice does a lot more shades in their brow products, so I'm not sure on this one. And then we have the Fix It Like a Boss Transparent Brow Fixing Gel, and this, it says extra strong, so I'm a bit worried. And what also worries me is the size of the spoolie. I mean, it's like a mascara wand. This isn't like a spoolie that's like look at that. With one swipe, like 2 swipes, I can do my entire brow. I'm not sure. This is just not a great, like, I think I like that brow wax from Catrice better than I do this. I mean, that applicator is just way too big. So with these, nice try. Try again next time, I think. And then we get to some more cheek products. So I have the Essence Make Me Glow highlighter. Is it just me, or is this the Pure Nude highlighter in a different packaging? Like, it just looks the same. I'm not sure if it's swatches a shame. The thing is that the Pure Nude highlighter over here in Europe had already been discontinued by Essence by the time it became a hype in the US. So they launched it later in the US, and then it became a hype in the beauty community. But it looks quite peachy and dark in the pan. But then I feel when you swatch it, it does have a very neutral undertone, which reminds me a lot of the Pure Nude highlighter. Now, I was never able to try the Pure Nude highlighter when it was a hype because it only came in one shade and it looked too dark for me. I never tried it. So I feel in terms of the products and what I've tried of them so far, this is like my favorite launch from them, because seeing this like Pure Nude style highlighter coming back, I think is a good move. But I just wish they would have called it the Pure Nude highlighter. But yeah, let me pop it on my face. I think you can see it quite well here, what it does. It has this like candlelit kind of shade. This is champagne highlighter. Do I need this in my life? Probably not, but I am excited, like I said, for them to bring back an OG Essence product that we haven't been able to get our hands on for a while. But now, are you ready? This can go in so many ways, and I hope it's not the wrong one. And that's the Essence Change Your Cheek Game Color Changing Blush Oil. Let that sink in for a minute. A color changing blush oil. This sounded so much like a gimmick that I'm just gonna try it and see if it works. Now, this is supposed to be an oil-based blush, so I hope this isn't going to break up everything else I've got already going on my cheeks. That's my first concern. The other thing, it looks blue in the tube. Yay. And this is then supposed to, if you know, read it on the back, go from clear to pink. And I can see it changing color a little bit, but when I was taking pictures of this, I don't know. And because it goes on clear, you're never gonna know how much you applied in which spot. So I think this might look really patchy. Just to try and help save the day, I do have my Catrice Air Blush Glow blush here. This is new from Catrice for fall winter. So I'm just gonna pop this on top in case this doesn't work. It is turning color a little bit more now. When I first watched it, it did nothing on the back of my hand. So, and still, because it has that oily shine to it, it looks very sheer. This could be a disaster, it could be lovely, it could be both of those things. Let's just try it. I will. I think I'm just going to pop some on the tip of my finger and then spread it out and pop it on. Do we see blush? I'm not seeing. I'm gonna let this marinate and do the other cheek first. So it does look more intense here. So I'm just going to wait for a minute and see how this goes. But as I was already expecting this to do, because it is a very different consistency, I feel it did lift off some of the foundation and concealer I was wearing underneath. More so on this cheek than on this cheek for some reason. I didn't have any residue here, but here I could really sort of see some particles on my finger after I had applied it, even though I wasn't even rubbing. So if you were to do this kind of motion, or if you were to apply it straight from the doe foot and then try to rub it into your cheek, I think it can actually disturb the base. So this may be something that you need to apply first, but then without, like, I'm wearing something. It does look very nice and sheeny though. I like the healthy glow it gives, but it doesn't add a lot of color. And even though I'm very fair, I mean, if it barely shows up on me, I mean, I can go in with a bit more perhaps, but then I'm worried I'm gonna disturb my base even more. But I'm just gonna do, like, grab a similar amount, like that, and then just like that, tap it on. Yeah, so now I think you can see the blush a little bit better, but I feel I'm wearing a lot of product. It doesn't really have a scent though. That's the only thing that this has going for it. So with this product, I think it's very pretty for people who perhaps don't wear a lot of makeup, or maybe if you can layer this underneath makeup, but I feel I need quite a lot for it to show up. It does mess with your base a little bit because of that oily consistency. I like the sheen it gives, as I've already mentioned, but it does stain a little bit on the back of my hand now that I've tried to take it off. So it's got a couple of good things, but because it goes on clear, you really need to sort of let it sit and wait for it to, like, really be able to see what this does on your cheeks. And so I think you might be able to, like, over apply this or not apply enough, or you know what I mean? So I think it works. I mean, the way this now looks on the cheeks I think is pretty, but did we need this? Can you hear that? That's how much it's raining. We're having a very rainy day today. But I finished doing my second priming action with the Pink Pot in Painterly, and then I like setting it with a eyeshadow that's close to my skin color, and this is Vanilla by MAC. And as you can see, I've hit pan on it, which is great. And then we go on to the eyeshadow. So Essence has come out with 2 new palettes, They are both mini palettes, and they're both cool toned. Sadly, we still don't have the taupe or the rose or the nude or the coral palette essence. But they did give us this. We have the Don't Stop Believing In, and we have Don't Worry Be mini eyeshadow palette. So the pink packaging one has this color story. We get a mauve, a dark brown, a purple shimmer, a rose gold, like pink with gold flip kind of shimmer. It looks pretty interesting in the pan. This like taupey brown shade, and then something that's, it looks very white in the viewfinder, but it actually has like, it's a cream with a hint of pinky purple to it. And then the gray toned one is your taupe one, save for the gold. So here we get a taupe transition, which is sort of like the more gray toned version of this shade and this guy. And then we get a dark brown that's cooler toned. We get a taupe matte, and then again 3 shimmers, which is like a warm toned taupe, a silvery taupe, and a gold. So since we're going to be doing lips after this, and I want to make sure I wear something as neutral as possible to make sure you can see all these lip colors, I'm going to go in with this one. But these swatched beautifully. They're very, very small. I'm going to have to try the other one off camera some other time, but I will be featuring these palettes in my October palette review video so that you can see the close-ups and the swatches and doing all that. But this, I think, this is my kind of color story. We all know it. But that's not the only thing we got in terms of eyes, because they finally launched this over here. This is the Essence Lash Princess liner, which looks like this. It's a felt tip liner with a very, very wide tip. Like this, just, it doesn't look like anything I might use, because I would only need the narrowest bit of the tip, because else I would just smudge it everywhere. And when I swatched it, I felt this wasn't very black. So there's that as well. So I'm not sure how this is going to go, but I'm just going to do a line along my top lash line. Just, you know, just to try it out, to take one for the team. So I'm going to do this eye look.
Enormous, instantaneous.
If you think, Micah, your face looks wet, that's because I just used setting spray. I always do that before I apply mascara. So eye look went on pretty well. I do have to say though that the mattes were quite soft at first, and I felt that it took a couple of passes of my brush to go in there to really get enough product on the brush to create a bit of depth. I thought at first the eyeshadow was pretty light, but then it did build up really nicely. Same for the shimmer formulas. I love that shiny taupey shade. Like this, I do really like. The silver and the gold, I mean, they're okay, but for me, it's really these two shades that take the cake. I used a bit of this on the lower lash line, this to blend things out, so I feel I get everything I need to create a look. And then of course, I popped on the Lash Princess liner, which I just thought was a bit cumbersome. It's way too thick to really get a nice precise line, even when you stamp it like I try to do, because if I go for eyeliners like this, I just sort of press it on. And this tip, I just felt my lashes were in the way, which is why I struggled getting this on. But, you know, I'm pretty sure that if you like your eyeliners, you might like this, but I do feel that this is the kind of eyeliner that when it gets old, the tip of the eyeliner is not going to have as much product in unless you keep it upright all the time. And very often the tips of these eyeliners will start to fray as well, meaning you can't be as precise, and it's not that precise to begin with. So I'm not exactly sure what the point is of this. I don't think this makes it easier to apply eyeliner. It makes it more difficult. So not my favorite for sure. For the final part of this video, I was like, I'm gonna do an Essence lip swatch video, and then I saw what I got in, and I was like, well, I might as well just pop it into this one. We've got 3 new glosses, and we have a new range of 5 Caring Shine lipsticks. So let's start with the lip glosses first. So these are the Extreme Care Hydrating Glossy Lip Balms. So are they lip glosses? I don't know. These are supposed to be super hydrating. We get a shade called Baby Rose, which this pale of a pink on me is usually a no-go. It does seem to have some sort of like iridescence to it, which the other two don't have. So maybe it's okay. Then we have the second, no, this is the third shade. The second shade is Soft Peach. This is probably the most wearable one for me, but I don't love peach on me, so probably not gonna work. And then the Milky Cocoa shade. It's a cool toned light brown. When I swatched these on the back of my hand, they did seem to have a bit of pigment to them. So we'll just pop them on, see how it goes. Wow, this shade is not doing anything for me. This is like draining. It also doesn't really go with the undertone of my lips. I now have the red ring of death around my mouth, looking really strange. This shade doesn't do anything for me. As predicted, the peachy shade is the best one. But this I felt like it just doesn't really offer anything else. These do feel really rich and hydrating though. So if that's something what you're looking for, a very comfortable lip product, from that perspective, like texture wise, these feel really pleasant. These have a scent, and it's a scent I can't pinpoint. Like, it's not fruity, it's not cupcakes, it's not pleasant. That's all I'm gonna say. These are a no for me, but maybe if you're looking for something very hydrating, you might still like these, but I don't like the shades. The only thing I like about these is the formula. So at least I like that about it. Let's go on to the Caring Shine lipsticks. There are 5 shades in total. So those are the lipsticks all swatched out. I think of the 5 shades, only the latter 2 really appealed to me. I think this rosy tone brown shade was the surprise of the line, because this is not a shade that makes me go like, ooh, I want to use that when I look at it in the tube. So the shades are really pretty, and the bullets here are stunning. They have the Essence emblem embossed in it, and then little stars. I'll make sure to pop a picture up on the screen so you can hopefully see a bit better what I mean. So these are definitely cute little lipsticks, but the scent, and I now, it's the same scent as in the other product, and I now remember what this reminds me of. You know when you go to the decoration part of IKEA and you get to the scented candle section? It smells like that. It smells like scented candles at IKEA, which I'm not entirely sure whether I want my lipsticks to smell like that. And now as well, like I have this on and it's really close to my nose and I'm like, I want to take you off. I want to take you off. It just is really sickly sweet kind of scent, which I don't love. So for me, in the line today from Essence, I'm sad to say that there's not that much that I'm itching to go back to. I mean, this blush is just a straight up gimmick. It works. I can make it work. I can put it on and it looks very pretty for sure. But I don't think I want to use that ever again. Like, I just don't. Like, if you give me a liquid blush, just make it an actual liquid blush, which is something you've never done before, Essence. So maybe pay attention to just doing good quality product and not something that's a gimmick. The primers and the skincare products, of course, I need to use a lot more before I can really say anything about it. But a lot of here just feels a bit cheap and just unnecessary. From the entire line, the only things I can see myself like looking more into are these eyeshadow palettes and the highlighter. Those are, I think, the best things here. I definitely want to try the other eyeshadow palette as well and then pop them in the review for you, like I said. So yeah, if I was a little too salty for you today, then I do apologize because, you know, I wasn't paid to do this or anything like that. I just bought these with my own money and I give you my honest opinions. And the Essence new fall winter release just, it didn't change my opinion the way it did for me when I tried the Catrice products, because there were also a couple of products where I was like, this is never gonna work, and then I put them on and I was like, oh, it works. So I was hoping that Essence could sway me as well, but I don't know. This is just not necessarily the vibe I'm going for. So I hope that this video was still helpful for you and that you got something out of it, and that you now know what products are out there and what might work for you or what not. Maybe if you're not that sensitive to scents, maybe you do really like these lipsticks, who knows. But yeah, these are just my honest opinions, and that's pretty much what I tend to do here on this channel. So if you'd like to stick around for more, then definitely hit subscribe. Thumbs up the video if you liked it and it was useful. And if you would like to come back, then I would greatly appreciate that. For now, I would like to wish you a very pleasant day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye-bye!